Okay, here are the cuttings that we took. So they're in plastic bag with just that paper towel wrapped in that paper towel, and it's kept them really nice and fresh. They're actually firmer now than they were when I took the cuttings because it was really hot. So they're perfect, ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is you have to wound the stem at the base. So there's a couple of ways to do it. You can, like, just, I don't know if I can do it with this secateurs, you can kind of crush it a little bit like that. That seems to work. Yeah, so I kind of crushed the stem slightly. And dip that in rooting hormone. This is rooting hormone powder. Yeah, this one seems to work quite well. Or the other way that people do it is you take your secateur blade or knife and you want to wound the stem where the buds are, and you just kind of scrape off a bit of the outer layer of the stem like that, and that just gives an opportunity for the roots to develop. On a hydrangea you don't need to take a healed cutting so much, and that's where you pull it off the stem. You can just take these internodal cuttings. So I actually prefer to crush them, so I'm going to crush it a bit. I think it works a little bit better. So I've got pod of compost, and the compost that I find works best is John Innes. This is Westland seed sowing compost. So seed sowing compost is really fine. Yeah, it's really fine. I've added a little bit of sharp sand to this, so one without the sharp sand. That's without. Right, that's the compost as it comes. This one's the compost as it comes. See, it's a bit darker, and what I do is I add a little bit of sand, a little bit of sharp sand into it, so it's a little bit sandier. So this is sharp sand. Sharp sand is quite granular, not building sand, sharp sand. Okay, and that seems to add a little bit of drainage, and I think it encourages root growth. So now what we do, we've crushed the stem, we've got a pot filled with seed compost mixed with a little bit of sharp sand, and we need a stick, something to poke a hole in the compost. So I've firmed it down. It's quite firm, not too hard, but fairly firm. And I like to put three or four cuttings in one pot. These have got quite big leaves. They've really gone nice and firm just by being in a plastic bag with water. So what we're going to do is, that's been crushed, so it's a little bit damp, which makes the rooting hormone stick. There you go, tap it off. It only needs to be like a thin layer. That's rooting hormone on there. Then with a stick, I'm going to make a hole and push it into about there, something like that. Push it in. They're nice strong cuttings, and I'll just firm in around there. Probably do 2 in this one. I don't know, I'd like to do 3, get the most out of the pots, because I don't want to have too many pots, but I want to have a bit of room for them to grow. So I might do 3 in here.